excellent coffee, of course, to keep me going. It's my fuel. And also video game design. We do that together. So bouncing ideas back and forth. And the company name Simogo actually came from our names, Simogo. And Gordon is my nickname. Everyone knows me by Gordon, so that's why. And we met at a company called Southend Interactive, also based in Malmö, Sweden. And it was a mid-sized company, 20 people or so. And we worked in small teams within this group. So we did XP titles, mostly Commanders, strategy game, remakes of Load Runner, remake of R-Type, Technoball, only released in the States, of course. And we also did a bit of work for hire for Qualcomm, so we did tech demos for next-gen hardware. And the most famous one was Ilomilo, and that was Southend's own IP. And Simon actually did all the art for Ilomilo, and I was the technical director. So that's what we are coming from. So why start our own company? We wanted to make smaller scope games. Doing XP and PSN titles was quite tiring. 2-3 years production and only having a small role in the project itself. So, and a big thing for us was to self-publish everything, if it was possible, of course. So, we actually prepared 18 months before quitting our jobs and saved up money so we could survive for 18 months without making a dime. So that's what was the preparation. And we also had a kind of a game idea before we started the company. And we chose the App Store as a platform, iOS, Apple devices, since we thought it was a great store experience and few amount of devices compared to Android, and low threshold to self-publish a game on App Store. You don't need a publisher really, so that was our entry point. And we chose Unity as our game engine. And back then, 2010, it was not as huge as it is now, but they were strong on iOS and already then, so and Unity was the perfect match for us. And being the technical director at Southend, I knew what time you have to invest in your own technology, so we wanted to focus on making games. This is our first office, not very big, 3 by 4 meters, I guess. And we could fit 2 desks in there, and actually setting up the server in the corner there. So, and we decided to have our own office before starting, because working from home can be difficult sometimes, and having an office keeps you more focused. You need that change of environment. This was actually our first concept for the debut game, and we didn't know what it was at first. It was some kind of puzzler. So we were set for a circular interaction, so, and Simon did this rendering in Maya, and it evolved into this with you can spot a planet rotating and a background. And this actually became Kosmo Spin. So this is our first game released in 2010, and play as this little guy called Nod, obviously, and you have to keep clear from the evil guy in the UFO, and keep those sporting goods from hitting the planet, because it will stun you, and the UFO will more easily abduct you, as you can see in a while there. So that's the basic gameplay. Really simple, but very addictive. And as the gameplay progresses, it will get more difficult and get faster and faster. And different kinds of like melons and volleyballs. And those pickups that you see, those food pickups, we actually added them quite late in the project because we reckon that the gameplay would benefit from having those pickups. We also had a quest mode in Kosmo Spin, since we figured App Store was all about updates. You had to extend your game to get new featuring and stuff. So we added a quest mode with small missions that you should survive for 15 seconds, or you should hit an amount of points in a certain time. And also this was great for Game Center integration, because we could have achievements and score posting and stuff. So, Kosmo Spin took us 3.5 months to make. And our vision was, when we started, was to release 2 games a year. Pretty tough, what do you call it? Postmortem of Kosmo Spin. We released it in December, actually, and that's a rookie mistake. All the big guys are releasing in December, or price drops happens in December, so we didn't know, but we were newbies in the App Store. So. Facebook integration useless. We didn't get much traffic there, so Game Center was the way to go. And we learned the hard way that Unity is a 3D engine. We had to do a lot of things ourselves. Next game, Bumpy Road. Simon had done these sketches of an old couple, and we didn't know what the game would actually be. You can see it was a platformer in the beginning, and then he put them in a car. And the day before Christmas, actually, we toyed around with the idea of making a bump in the road by just below your finger or above. And that way we could push them around and get this really nice gameplay experience. And this is Bumpy Road. It's an endless gameplay kind of thing, and as you can see here, you create a bump to push them and jump, and it's great just to create that wave in the ground. That's what we were looking for. And there's all kind of stuff: destructible bridges, pickups. As you can see in the left corner, you need to collect those pickups because they are the fuel, and switches and stuff. Yeah. And those memory pickups, I will tell them a bit later. And yeah, you should keep clear of the holes in the ground. Also had a time trial mode because we figured the visual style and the gameplay would attract kids to the game. But we wanted a game mode that was without a fail state, because so they could just play around by themselves. And that was the time trial mode. And the memory pickups that I spotted earlier actually unlocks the story of this old couple. Really nice story, love story about them meeting in Paris and stuff. And that keeps you playing because you want to unlock this story. So, really cute game. And the editor of Bumpy Road. We actually have 600, it consists of level segments, and we added an editor early on so Simon could build those level segments and try them out in the real game logic. So you could just test it, and it loops over and over the same segment when you're in the editor. And then you can add platforms and all kind of stuff, pickups, and just try out the segment again. This was a really nice decision to have an in-game editor, just to be able to do quick iterations of the different level segments. We got featured by Apple, iPhone Game of the Week with Bumpy Road, and they actually added that. Maybe you can read it. The App Store guys actually added a bit of a poetry below the logo there. Control the lay of the land with a wave of the hand in this beautiful crafted world of wheels. And this was our breakthrough game. Mainly, if you get featured, the banner in the App Store means everything for sales. And this was really when we started to make money. Kosmo Spin, not so much. And they still love Bumpy Road. This is the reveal event of iOS 7. And we spotted Bumpy Road icon in there, so pretty cool feeling. And just because we got so excited about the feature, we decided to go ahead with an update for Bumpy Road, where we added elevators and, as you can see there, different kind of gameplay elements. And we actually doubled the content of the original Bumpy Road, and that was for free. Bumpy Road. 5.5 months it took us, and the update actually took 2 months. And the postmortem of this will be keep content updates small. At least that's what we thought, because it was a free update as well. And $299 works. This was in 2011. Everything was 99 cents basically. So we made a gamble and put it on $299, and it worked. Next game, Bandit. This is one of our favorites actually. Simon loves rhythm games, mostly Japanese ones, so he wanted to do a rhythm game. And we had 3 keywords for the game idea itself: rhythm, stealth, puzzle. And we wanted to combine those 3 into the gameplay. And this is early sketches of the main character, the Bandit, and we tried out in 3D and 2D. And the story in Beatnik Bandit is that all the clocks has been stolen by this evil guy called Duke Clockface, and it's up to you to collect them for the citizens and get all of them back. And you have a sidekick frog, of course, called Herbie. This was the first time that we identified risks in projects. Kosmo Spin and Bumpy Road was pretty straightforward to do, but this time we had to evaluate if it was something that we could really develop. Mainly because Unity in a music game, all communities and forums basically told us that you shouldn't go ahead and make a music game in Unity. So, but we went ahead and perfectly synchronized audio, and that is pretty tricky if you are on a mobile platform, and the multitasking, minimizing the game and resuming and stuff, and keeping everything in sync. Beatnik Bandit is actually, the gameplay mechanics is constructed around a 8-second loop, audio loop, and every beat is on a quarter of a second. Speed to them, really good. Yeah, busted. And for the story in the game, we added small phones that you can talk to your helper frog, Herbie, and he helps you out. And we could avoid tutorials. We could integrate them into the gameplay instead of having a menu for it, where you can read about everything. And the Duke calls as well, giving you a hard time. And all this ends up with a boss fight against the Duke. And a bit inspired by Donkey Kong. We can actually use the original game mechanic and just modify it a bit to make this boss fight really cool, pretty hard, which is frustrating. And it's about clearing all those locks so the bell will fall on his head. And you have to keep clear of the levers, as you will see now. Beatnik Bandit also had an editor, and kind of the same style as Bumpy Road. So, and this enabled Simon to build all the levels, which is good. And let's see, here's a level, and you can select each gameplay element. And as I told you before about the 8-second loop, here you can see, so we can actually edit on which beat a certain kind of gameplay element would trigger. The guard will move left and right, door will open and close, such stuff. So here I'm adding a guard and a door. I'm actually setting here you can see the door should be open on those speeds and closed on the remaining beats. Just save it up. And here's the level select of Beatnik Bandit. And there you go, the guard and the door. moving in the exact pattern as in the editor. Again, pretty nice to have this fast iterations of level editing. We were featured Game of the Week with Bandit, this time on the iPad. And we actually turned up as an IGF award winner with Bandit for Best Mobile Game 2012. So it's pretty cool. And the picture on the lower left is the release party of Bandit, where we dressed up as the guard and the bandit. Six months. Keep it simple. This is about the first 2 months of the development of Bandit was actually struggling with the gameplay mechanic. It was a completely different mechanic in the beginning, where you set a slider for each floor, and then more of a trial and error kind of gameplay. And then it turned into this really difficult mechanic where you move the bandit left on beat and right on backbeat, and that Simon could play it, but I couldn't, so we removed that. And then it turned into this one-touch gameplay, and it was brilliant. And we got so much puzzle mechanic just being able to use that mechanic. And not everything has to be mainstream, and we thought a music game would be pretty a niche game, so we were not prepared if it would actually sell on the App Store, but it turned out to be very successful. And after this, we've done 3 games: Kosmo Spin, Bumpy Road, Bandit. Media and fans kind of expected a 4th game in the same style, but this was the time that